G'day folks, well this here is a box containing what I believe is the Dayan Gem 10. Now my knife is in the dishwasher, so if you have to use scissors, make them purple. Well, the scissors did not really help. I still can't open a box to save my life, and looks like that's how good I am. I've actually cut that portion of the box while I was doing it. Well done to me. We'll get that out of the way. Well, once again, thank you very much for Cubezz for sending this through to me. Really appreciate that in order to review it. And you can see here, Dayan Gem Cube 10. I repeat, this was not like that. I just accidentally cut it while trying to open the box. So I'm going to get it out of all the packaging. Just looking at the box first, you can clearly see that's the 10, and doesn't really say much else. That's 𝙏𝙃𝙈𝙄𝙕𝙀, or 𝙏𝙃𝙈𝙕𝙀𝙕, however you say that. I can't read any of that. Avoiding to put any parts into mouth or choke on. Fair enough, that's great advice. I will heed that advice. Now, you might be forgiven for wondering, where is the 9? Wasn't the Dayan Gem 8 the last one that was produced? Yes, it was. Now, if you cast your mind back many years ago, the Dayan Gems did come out, but they didn't come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had some weird order, and I don't know why that order was, but they've obviously, it's known to the Dayan people. We've now got the number 10, and this looks suspiciously like a lot of the other ones. So my understanding of this is that it's a bit of a combination of the 1 and the 2, or perhaps the 1 and the 3, or perhaps the 1 and the 4. Let's have a look soon. Checking out the colours of the stickers, we have the white. Yeah, we have 2 faces of white, so sort of a square face of white and a hexagon face of white. So we've got white, yellow, blue, red, green, orange, and it looks like we've got a grey. Now, is that the only, where's the square? We've got pink as well. So what's going on here? So we've got a couple of, for the square faces, we've got a white, orange, blue, red, green, yellow. The same sort of thing. In fact, that's the same, I guess the same order you'd see it on a Rubik's Cube. White, red, blue, orange, green, and then yellow on the bottom. For the hexagon faces, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 8 in total? I think it is 8 in total. And that would explain why we've got the same 6 colours, plus we've got the pink and the grey. So 6 of these faces, 8 of these faces. Okay. These stickers are, I'm assuming this is from the factory, and just looking at the stickers, they look to be placed, you know, without really any bubbles or anything. I can't see any. In terms of the actual placement, it's pretty standard as to what I would normally expect, in that they're doing a heap of these. So you can see that one there, that's not been really properly placed. Probably neither has that. It looks fine. I don't have a huge problem with it, but I know there are some people who would prefer to do the stickers themselves, and I get that. So I probably wouldn't. I would just get my daughter to do them. But again, you can see that one probably needs to go in that way a little bit. But the actual stickers themselves, no problem. I like the colours. They're the same as the colours from the previous Dayan Gems, and just comparing with a couple. Here's the Dayan Gem 1. You can see the colours there. In fact, looking at that, you can see it almost looks like it's the same puzzle. Now I've got to go, which is which? Now, I don't even know. I hope I can remember, because in fact, let's have a look. The 1, I genuinely am now going, I don't know which one's which. I can't remember. They feel the same. This feels slightly heavier. I think it was this one, but I'm going to have to see soon. So that's the Dayan Gem. Let's assume that was the 1. This is the Dayan Gem 2, which thankfully is quite different in shape and look. The Dayan Gem 2 turned like this. So it had these sort of faces here. I believe, it's been such a long time since I've played with these, they also turned on here as well. And this one jumbles, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what this one is, the Dayan Gem 1, because I know the Dayan Gem 1, as far as I can remember, all it did was turn on the edge. And I say all it did because you could certainly jumble with this as well. So I know that if I could turn that possibly to there, then this, or was it to there? I don't know, just looking at this edge here. Maybe this is the 10. You can see how easy it is to confuse me. Perhaps this is the 1. Trying to line that up just to see if I can do some kind of jumbly thing. You know what I should be doing is, the reason I've got the 1 and the 2 is because apparently the 10 is a bit of a combination. So it turns on the edge like the 1, but it also turns on the square faces like the 2. So you can see the 2 turns on those square faces. So let's see if this turns on the square. Oh, hello, look at that. Whereas this one here, I'm pretty sure, does not budge. So I've now concluded that's the 1. I'm back to the 10. So what does the 10 do? Well, as I just demonstrated, it turns on those. That's beautiful turning. Beautiful turning. Turns on, and you can see just I was struggling a little bit with the 1. No problems here whatsoever. Was that a fluke? No way. Awesome turning. Oh, this is so good because I remember one of the gems, it might have been the 7, there was absolutely an issue when it came out. It was as though one of the faces that was supposed to turn did not turn, and you had to do a lot of work to eventually make it turn. These ones, straight away, no problem. Oh, that's really good. So that's the square faces. I believe these should also turn. Awesome. They are turning so well. Well, from my limited memory, I would say this turns as well as any Dayan Gem that I have got previously. And I know it's been a number of years since I did it, so my memory could be faulty, but who knows. So does this jumble? Does it do other things apart from just this? I know that it turns there. It's supposed to also turn here. Can I mix the two? That's probably the next thing to ask. If it was going to do that, I'd want to line something up like that with the square face. If that will, is that something? I think something's coming out at the back here when I try and do it that way. I think that's what's going on. That's fine. Let's just try. If I turn like that, can I get something to line up so I can then still turn this face here? And maybe I can't. That's back to there. So probably, possibly not in that sense. What about if I turn this? Does this do anything? Allow me to do anything there? Possibly not. Now I wonder if on this one I can still jumble with the edge turns. In other words, can I combine this edge turn and say this edge turn? It kind of looks like it's roughly in the right position. Oh, hello. Yes, I can. I'm assuming I'm supposed to be able to do that. So I can definitely, it's the same, looks like the same jumbling there as the Dayan Gem 1. And I know I could do that on the 1. We could then get that down to there and go on our merry way. Can I do this one? Not quite. The question for me now is if I've done that jumbling, I can just do that again. At the moment, can I turn that square face? No, because that edge is there. If I jumble this, is there a point where it will then allow me to turn the square face again? I don't feel like that's going to go. No. Happens, can I keep going around here? Just trying to turn this green square face, if I can. No. I'd actually be surprised if I could, but I just feel like I should check. No, so I don't think there's going to be any interacting jumbling between the edges and the square faces. Now, I could be wrong. What I'm going to do, I think, is give it a scramble. And initially, I'm just going to give it a scramble with non-jumbling turns and at least get it scrambled. And then perhaps try and see if there is any other way to do it. So I'll show you the scramble here on camera because, you know, I'm happy to scramble this one up. And hopefully things will turn. That's a little bit stiff there. Where haven't I turned yet? Everywhere, pretty much. How about that one? That one. You can see already that's getting quite nicely scrambled. And I'm just looking at these three, and particularly those three, just going, can I do something to separate them? Yes, I can, although that's put that blue back there. I'm going to keep going here. Well, this is not perfectly scrambled at this point, but it's scrambled well enough for what I want to do, which is now just start seeing if I can do a bit of jumbling. And so far, I've got to say, this is turning so well. It's really a pleasure. It's nice to be able to play with a puzzle that turns well and doesn't sort of lock up and catch and all the rest of it. So I suspect this will get better and better as time goes on. Let's see if I can work out exactly where I need to put one of these pieces to turn this edge. Cutting back in here with two things. The first thing is I've figured out exactly how to do the swap of the jumbling swap while retaining shape. The easiest way I can look at it is this: find two edges that are pointing the same direction. So that one, and between them, there'll be an edge that is pointing in the opposite direction. So what we want to do is just from the bottom, turn it up so that sort of goes to that position, and from the top, do the same thing that way. And then this middle edge will turn around absolutely perfectly and easily. So that's good. I'm glad I've got that sorted. The other thing, as I mentioned earlier about the stickers, and not all the stickers were placed correctly, well, that happens now to be a little bit more than academic, because you can see here, for example, that this white sticker, it has not been really placed very well, and it's starting to peel because it's being, I don't know how to describe this, when things are moving, it's moving around, it's actually sort of moving against other edges. And it's not the only one like that. So there was definitely, let's see, there's another white one there that's the same. Maybe it's just the white ones that are the easiest to see. But what I'm going to do now also is just peel back and reposition, if I can, some of these stickers. So it's certainly not an issue that Cubezz have done. They've just got the cube from the factory, or the puzzle from the factory. But I would say this is one reason why a lot of people would prefer to do it themselves. You can see the same sort of thing, that green one is just starting to peel. All right, well, like I've replaced some of the stickers, but I think, unfortunately, the damage has been done for a couple of them. So I'll talk about at the end what I suggest regarding that. Let's start jumbling this sort of properly and shape-shifting it. So what I would do is just sort of start the same thing, and instead of getting the other one, I would now just maybe turn this. Now, the interesting thing here is I can do that, I can give it a 180 twist, then bring it back, and I've got those two pieces separated. The other thing that I can do is, instead of giving it a 180, I can do something like turn it that way, bring that one around. Now, does it come back there? No. That's the same as what I did. What was the other thing I did? That sort of thing there. And then that will come back like that. So as I said at the start, I don't think that this jumbling will interact with the square faces. In other words, I think part of the problem is with the jumbling that once you do it, you can't move any of the square faces that are affected by this. So that one, I just can't turn at all. This one, it's got that on it, so I can't turn it. It wants to go, but it's blocked there. This one's fine because there's nothing near it. This one will be a problem. So what I would say then, I don't really know if the jumbling is interacting in any way with the square faces. I suppose it has to be somehow. But yeah, there's really nothing I can do there to turn this around and make those square faces still turn. So probably what I would do now is just continue trying to do some jumbling. Perhaps do that and just get as many of these pieces separated as I can. But my suspicion is that I'm very quickly going to find that things are quite blocked. And I'll just keep searching it, initially for parts where they're not blocked. That can go back there. Now I've got another one of these. I don't think that's any kind of fudging. I think that's perfectly legal, all of that. Now again, I go to, to turn this edge. That's fine, but that is blocked. And before I know it, I think I'm going to find, can I get something that will allow that to turn? That almost wants to. I think that's right, except that that's in the way now. So if I can continue, you can see that I can eventually do that. And then that part here will turn. And I suppose the goal now is just to keep going until you find that you really can't turn anything. And as I said, it hasn't really taken that many turns, has it? To get to this sort of position where I'm quite blocked and things look pretty insane. Can I do anything else? I certainly can't turn any square faces, I'll tell you that. I can't even see the square faces. More to the point, that's an edge. Where are the square faces? I genuinely cannot see where they're. Oh, hang on, there's one. Just see the outline there. But obviously there's no way to do any turning there at all. So if it was me and I was scrambling, hey, guess what? This is me. I would just continue doing this. I'm nearly at the end of the line. And at this point, I think that's probably, enough in terms of, are the pieces not where they should be? Have they been moved around? Even now, I'm potentially putting things back. I don't know. Anyway, that looks pretty cool. So that is the Dayan Gem 10, and you can see that it is definitely a jumbling puzzle. It turns on its edges. The edges jumble with other edges. It also turns on sort of this, there's a square face there. You can't see that now, but you know about it. I don't think the square and the edges interact. Is that a square face, or have I just said that's a square face and it's an edge? I don't even know. I don't think they do. My take on this puzzle, when you get it, look for any stickers that are not properly centered. Like, for example, that one there, you can see that really needs to be sort of rotated a little bit. Peel them off and just center them where they're supposed to be before you do any turning. And that way, you're not going to get this situation that I've got where, if I can find it, yeah, just under there, you might be able to see that white part of that sticker is a little bit hacked up because it wasn't centered initially. Better yet, perhaps ask if they've got a set of stickers. You can do it yourself. But it looks like a really fun puzzle. I don't think it's going to be simple. Any jumbling puzzle generally is, a pretty decent challenge. As I said, this comes from Cubezz. It comes from a lot of places, but you certainly won't get cheaper than Cubezz. And at Cubezz, this is going for $26.99. That, of course, includes shipping and shipping with tracking. So there's no extra hidden costs there. Just as an example, you can get it at Now Store. It's $39.99, I think. And that, of course, includes shipping, but that's quite a bit more. And 𝙃𝙬𝙈 is another one that I've used in the past. It's $22.62, but that does not include shipping. So by the time you add that in, if you want the absolute cheapest cost, of course, you get it from Cubezz. Thanks to them for sending this through. I hope that's helped with your understanding of what it is, how it works, and whether it's the right sort of puzzle for you. If you do want to buy it, then I'd certainly appreciate you using the link in the description. That helps me out at no cost to you. As always, thanks for watching.